Well, I want to tell you that I'm also troubled by the statements some leaders in this country have been making about the Vietnam refugees. First, the refugees didn't come here because they wanted to leave their friends and their family in their native land. And secondly, in many instances, their loyalty and their friendship for and with the United States is the very reason it's necessary for them to be here in the first place. And thirdly, we went to Vietnam in the first instance to prove that our Judeo-Christian traditions, our concern for the worth of each human being, was an infinitely more humane and desirable system than the one which sought to conquer them. The whole problem is sad for them and sad for us. But let us not, in a moment of impulsiveness, abandon our Christian traditions, indeed our own national traditions as a nation of immigrants, to the petulant statements and attitudes which reflect an insensitivity unbecoming a great nation, particularly a great nation about to celebrate its 200th anniversary. Our blend of freedom and equality can survive only if Americans feel that choices are still open to them, that they still have some measure of control over their lives. This nation cannot survive if the people feel that they have lost control of their lives. It cannot survive if the gulf between rich and poor become even wider, with the resulting erosion of the great middle class, which is the stabilizing influence of any free society. It cannot survive if the legitimate hopes for a more abundant life are dashed every month by rising bills and dwindling paychecks. It cannot expect the American people to maintain their allegiance to freedom as an abstract term if they believe their own freedom of decision has been taken from them by impersonal forces whose workings they do not understand. The most significant celebrations of our bicentennial, which we now approach, ought to take place in solitary places, places where we can reflect on what we want our country to be. We ought to look upon our current difficulties not as curses, but as opportunities for increased self-knowledge and in turn greater strength. We emerged as a nation from the disasters like the Civil War and the Great Depression stronger than ever before. And I sometimes think that by the very nature of the system, a democracy has to hit bottom, literally plumb the depths, before we are willing to accept the bold and necessary to call to sacrifice.